Hi everyone, welcome to Agile Tech. In this video, we'll be looking at the electronic safety, which is the part 2 of safety and security. The part 1, we look at the physical safety, we look at what we must do physically to ensure while making use of the computer, we don't get any form of injuries or we don't experience any fire hazard or electrocution as much as possible. And in this video, we'll be looking at the electronic safety. And we'll start with data protection. There is no better way to talk about it than data protection, because we want to be safe as much as possible. The people posting the content also want to be safe. Okay. Most countries have some form of data protection act, what we call DPA. Okay. Now that is a legislation designed to protect individual and to prevent inaccurate or incorrect data being stored. Okay, so essentially it is an act. You're preventing data from being stored that are not correct, and they are set up to protect the right of the individuals about whom data is obtained and stored and processed. Let's look at an example. We talk about collection, use, disclosure, destruction, and holding of data. Okay, any such act applies to both computerized and paper records. Okay, many data protection acts are based on the 8 principles that we're going to look at. Number 1, data must be fairly and lawfully processed. It means that whatever data that is going on the internet must be lawful, must be fairly. Okay, data can only be processed for the stated purpose. Data must be adequate, must be relevant, and not excessive. Data must be accurate, so you don't post things that are not true just because you want to post something on the internet. Data must not be kept longer than necessary, and data must be processed in accordance with the data subject rights, and data must be kept secured. Data must not be transferred to another country unless they have the adequate protection. Okay, now with that being said, in many countries, failures to abide by this simple rule by anyone who holds data about individuals can lead to a heavy fine or even imprisonment. Because see, once you are a storage of people's data, this applies to you. Okay, it means if you're the owner of Facebook, you're the owner of Twitter, you're the owner of TikTok, you have to keep our data safe. That is the Data Protection Act. We have to go to bed knowing that our informations on your social medias or on your platforms are safe. And not everybody can just dive into it and get personal, sensitive data that are not meant for the public. Okay, so that's the whole essence of it. Okay, so there are general guidelines about how to stop data from being obtained unlawfully. Okay, number 1, do not leave personal information lying around on the desk when not attended. Now that is for the physical. So don't leave any personal information like a password. Some people have that knack for writing their passwords down and just filing it or keeping it on the table. But when you're not around, you don't want people to get to know. That is personal. It is personal information, and you don't want people to know that information. Okay, lock filing cabinet at the end of the day or when the room is unoccupied. Now for offices that are using a kind of filing system, right, please ensure your files, the cabinets, are locked when it is the end of the work day or when you're not around. Ensure it's locked, because you don't want people going in to obtain any form of files that belongs to a client. In the hospital, please lock it, because obviously those files contain personal, sensitive medical information about people, and they're coming to your hospital for a reason. So please, they want to be ensured that even when they are at work, their minds are aware that knowing that their medical information are safe. Do not leave data on a computer monitor if it is unattended. Log off from the computer if away from the desk for any length of time. Now I want to talk about this. People leave their data on the computer monitor. So some people just use people's laptops, use people's phones, log into to their personal mobile finance app. Please don't try it. Two, or log into the social medias and then forget to log off. It gives people the right to snoop around personal details. Okay, so please, it's important. Don't leave data on, even if it's your own. Don't just leave it. Ensure that they are logged off. Use passwords and user IDs, which should be kept secured, right? So you should use your passwords and IDs to secure your system, right? To ensure people don't just get access to it. And please, passwords should be difficult to guess. Use passwords that are difficult to guess. Don't use password like your name, date of birth, things that people can actually just come up with and just about you, and they can be able to guess. And if possible, it should be changed frequently. If it's possible, it should be changed frequently. Or use a password that becomes difficult to guess. And what is a strong password? A strong password is combination of your uppercase, lowercase, special symbols, and numbers. Make sure that anything sent in an email or fax, including attachment, is not of a sensitive nature. So don't send sensitive information on your email, because most of the time you forget to log off. Okay? Now let's talk about, we've talked about data protection, how we can protect our data, both physical and electronically. Now let's look at personal data. We've looked at data protection. Now let's look at personal data. Right? Personal data refers to any data containing a living person who can be identified from the data itself. I come again. It refers to any data concerning a living person who can be identified from the data itself, or from the data in conjunction with other information. For example, Peter Smith has long purple hair and lives at 40 Green Street, which will clearly identify this individual. What are examples of personal details? You have your name, address or email address, an ID card, a passport number, an IP address, cookie IDs, advertising identifiers on a mobile phone, date of birth. Your banking details are personal data. Photographs of the individuals. For example, in school uniform. That's personal, because obviously with the photograph, they can be able to identify where you're schooling, or probably you're taking a photograph that has your ID card on it. That's personal, because obviously they can be able to identify where you're working. Okay, so personal data is often referred to as what we call sensitive data. What do you mean by sensitive data? Examples of sensitive data can include political views, your race, you're Black American, and all this kind of thing. Membership of political parties, membership of trade union, your criminal records, medical history, sexual orientations, or your gender. Those are sensitive, right? Your biometric data, your DNA, your medical history, your biometric data. These are sensitive. So some personal can also be seen as sensitive. Okay? Extra special care needs to be taken of sensitive what? Personal data. So extra care. Whether data is personal or sensitive, it is imperative that all precautions are taken to keep it confidential and prevent any inappropriate disclosure. Now, this includes personal data from hackers. For example, it also means keeping data safe from accidental disclosure. One way to protect data if it is accidentally disclosed, is to encrypt it. Yeah, encrypt it. So you have to prevent this sensitive or personal data from being hacked, from accidental disclosure, whether it's a physical or electronic protection you're given. It's in the cabinet, please lock it. Put it on a case or on a safe. If it's electronic, please ensure you encrypt it. It's personal, please encrypt it. What I recommend to organizations is, after the end of a year, all you have to do, or for a month or whatever, is you gather all the files for that month and you encrypt it, so that anybody who wants to have access to that month or the transaction for that month, you will have access to it and not them. Anybody cannot just have access to it. Okay, so you will read many ways of keeping data secured in this chapter and other chapters throughout this textbook. Let's look at the electronic safety. Now, our focus was on the personal data and how we can keep our personal data safe. And one of them of keeping the personal data safe is the physical way. Encrypting it, both physical and electronic. Now we are now going into the electronic safety, which is our internet. E-safety refers to the benefits, risk, and responsibilities when using ICT. It is often defined to be the safe and responsible use of technology. Right? So it refers to the benefits, the risk, responsibility when you're using this ICT. Right? And it is often defined to be safe, to be a responsible use of that technology. However, e-safety is as much about user behavior as it is about electronic security. Yeah. So it talks about user behavior as it is about what? Electronic security. In particular, what we're talking about, we're using the internet. Number one, sending and receiving emails. Number two, taking part in social media. Number three, and online gaming. And we want to stress on this. Using the internet. Let's talk about using the internet. The following is a list of precautions that can be taken to minimize potential dangers when you're using the internet. When using the internet, make sure the website being used can be what? Trusted. For example, look out for websites including your HTTPS. Okay, it has that padlock in it. Okay, it has a padlock in it. Okay, only purchase items from websites that offer what we call the secure encrypted connection. Okay, that's number two. Number three, when using search engines, always make sure the device settings are set to what? Safe search. And the highest possible level of security is used. Because obviously for your child, for teenagers, when they're using a search engine, they don't want to come across things that could be harmful, in quotes, to them. So always ensure that their device settings are set to safe searching. So that takes them off from the ability to search or to see what they're not meant to see. Now, the fourth one is only use websites recommended by teachers, parents, or from trusted sources. Don't just go to websites because your friends are talking about it, you want to check it out. Please always ask questions before diving in, because see, you don't want to entangle yourself with something you come to regret later. Okay, be careful what you download. Very important, because most of those materials you download could be harmful, not just to you but to your system. They could be viruses in disguise. They could be Trojan horses. They could be malware. They could be worms. So is the material potentially harmful? Could it be a malware? Of course, we're looking at malware later in this section. So it is essentially that either you have an antivirus or an anti-malware software running in the background, and not just running, but it's up to date, because the idea is that there are viruses that are continually updating newer versions of viruses. Always remember to log out of site when you have finished using them. Don't just keep the logins. Remember that cookies are used every time you log into a website. So take particular care with websites that store key data such as your bank accounts, credit card details. Please take extreme care. Okay, now we've talked about using the internet, and we've talked about 6 ways we can take precautions while using the internet. Now let's talk about the sending and receiving emails. The following list highlights some of the dangers when sending and receiving emails. It is important to have awareness of the risk when opening emails and how to deal with emails from unknown sources. Number 1, only open emails or attachments from known sources. Yeah, open the emails that you know they are from sources, either from your teachers, from your parents, from your friends. Please check out for them before opening it. Make sure that your internet service provider has an effective email filtering. Okay, feature to ensure emails from unknown sources are put into the spam folders. Okay, only reply to an email if you know the person who sent it. Don't just reply to any email you see, or to any emails or mail people are sending to you. No. Or the organization, if you are 100% certain it is genuine. Okay, so only reply to an email if you know who's sending it. Okay, check that email address or website address pertaining is coming from a genuine company. And most of the time, organizations that sends email always have their name on it. Usually they have what we call a webmail, or a Gmail customized mailing. For example, you could have info at the website, or you could do that. Or the Google Mail also has what we call the admin console, where you can actually create your email specifically for your organization, and staff members as well can also have their own email for that organization. If you need me to do videos on how to create an organization email, please you can put it on the comment section. Definitely, probably I'm going to do a video on it, so that people can learn how to create organizational emails. Okay, now check that the email address pertaining is genuine. It always comes with what we call the way company website address. Okay, think carefully before replying to an email. Never include the name of your school or college or personal details that could identify you. Never send photos of yourself, particularly in uniforms, which could be used to identify your school. Beware of phishing and farming scam. Talking about high level of scamming. You are going to sending fake websites, and you have to click on those links that takes you to fixed websites, and then they ask for your personal details, and you put in yes. They can steal those personal details. Obviously, that's what it does. Protect your email account by using passwords, which are difficult to guess, and if possible, change them on a regular basis. Take care when forwarding emails. Manually type in email addresses. Do not copy and paste an email address from a recipient, because you may not spot typing errors or other clues that is not genuine. So just type it. Avoid clicking on hyperlinks within emails, because it could be part of what we call a phishing scam. That's what it is. So they send you links on your email, you click on them, and it takes you to external websites, and that may prompt you to give in your personal details, and then you're going to have some serious internet issues, internet experience, because probably it could be they could just pretend to be your banking operation, and then you can just put in your banking details. Remember, the unsubscribe link at the bottom of an email could itself be fraudulent. So sometimes they tell you to unsubscribe, put in your login details to unsubscribe. Please, unsubscribe links don't ask you for to put in your personal email. So check out for that. They tell you to unsubscribe, you put in your username and password to unsubscribe. Please don't do that. Avoid using the CC or tow boxes when sending multiple emails. It's always a good idea to create emailing groups or put the name of the group into the BCC box and in the toolbox, right? Send the emails to yourself. This will give you and your friends some protection because any unauthorized access will not get to see the email of those in the emailing group. Okay, now that is for sending and receiving emails. Let's dive into what the social media. Okay, when using social media sites, it is important to be careful and make sure you know how to block undesirable people. One of the good things I know how to do is block. I block people a lot. You're surprised, right? You'll be fine, right? I block people a lot. People who are not to my ideas and not working to, I just block you out. Now, the following list shows some of the dangers and some of the ways to protect yourself. Most people tell me, I get scammed on social media. I get scammed on this. I get scammed on that. I've had complaints of people even using my email. I think there was one time my Facebook was hacked. People were actually using it to ask for money. So you have to look out for that. You have to call to confirm because people can just hack into your account and use it to ask for money from friends and families. Okay, so you really want to look out for that. Okay, that is why if you're chatting with people and you discover that these people are not to your same vision, please block them. See, if you notice people are asking for, or people are trying to scam you to do this, you're noticing that. See, you have the block feature. I guess how people tell me that I was scammed. I was. Come on, it's out of your stupidity. So do not publicly post or give out personal information to people you do not know. So don't really give out your personal information to people you don't know, including email address or house addresses, because this could be used to find information about you or carry out what we call identity theft. People can actually, impersonate your personality on the social media just to get information about you. So you have to look out for it. Do not send photos of yourself to people you do not know. Again, this could lead to identity theft or somebody impersonating you. Many of the photos on social media sites are false. In fact, people use all the so-called Yahoo boys and Yahoo girls or whatever. They use pictures of models on social media. They impersonate a lot of pictures. And if you're not careful, you could fall into victim thinking you are chatting with that person, not knowing that someone is just impersonating the person. Always make sure you use the privacy setting when posting photos of yourself on social media site. I have friends, the only photo they post about themselves, they post it to only their friends. And they don't leave it in public, because if you put public there, it means even people that are not your friends can actually have access, can actually see those content, because you are posting it for the public. Okay? It is important that none of your photos you post can link to a place or an address. For example, it's not a good idea to show the number plate on a car, because it is possible to find your address from this information. Particular care should be taken not to post photos of yourself in some form of school uniform. Again, this gives somebody information about where they can find you. Okay? Always maintain privacy settings to stop non-friends from contacting you. So have privacy information. People cannot just chat you up. People cannot just send you message until they're your friends. Also make sure you control who has access to your profile. Some people, that the only way you can have access to their profile if you're following their friends. Okay? Only make friends with people you know or are well known to other friends. Avoid using or forwarding messages containing inappropriate language. Please be careful on your social media. Don't just use any form of foul language. People lack manners on social media. They don't have manners at all, right? So you have to be careful. And like I said, the block feature is always very helpful. If you are on the social media platform, people are disturbing you or stalking you, you have the options to block them. It takes you literally nothing. It costs nothing to block them. So please block them. Okay? So it is extremely important to be very vigilant when using social networking sites. Okay, be very vigilant when you're using like instant messaging or chat rooms. Be careful. Block or report anybody who acts suspicious or uses inappropriate language. Okay, be very careful with the language that you use in the chat room, because you are anonymous or you are on the chat platform where nobody is seeing you. Doesn't mean you have to say some abusive words or what we call cyberbullying. Don't bully people online. Don't bully them. Okay, always use a nickname and never your real name. If you're on a chat room, please don't use your real name, because people can use that to find you. Keep private and personal data secret. Do not enter private chat rooms. Stay in public spaces. The danger sign is if someone wants to enter a private chat room and asks you to instant message or email, request your phone number, or even suggest that you meet. So please, you have to be careful. Never arrange to meet anyone on your own. Always tell an adult. As teenagers, always tell an adult first. Meet people in public places, because someone say, come and meet me, or let's see, let's hang out. You just go to the person's house. Boom. They will take you to where you do not know. They will carry you to where you don't know. So please always meet people in public places. See them. Hi. See them first. In a public place. You don't just go to a secluded place, but a public place. Avoid the misuse of images. Okay? Including forwarding other message or images from other people. Don't just forward people's messages. Please don't. And always respect people's confidentiality. If it is confidential, please respect their confidential information. Don't just go around posting them and just lashing on them. No. Okay, so we've been able to look at three things when using the internet: sending and receiving emails, taking part in social media, and the last one we'll be looking at is the online gaming. Okay, now I'm a fan of online gaming. I'm into Call of Duty, PlayerUnknown Battleground, Fortnite, even a certain Free Fire I come across with it. And yeah, so I'm an online gamer. Okay, so I can relate to this. Okay, so online gaming has increased over the past few years. Back then in my time, we weren't really having what we call online gaming. Although it started little by little, for even a certain e-football. It's online gaming because you can actually play with people, right? And other games as well. So it has increased over the last few years. There are many reasons for this, such as a better internet connection, more sophisticated mobile devices, phones and tablets, and a greater realism in recent game. It is important to be careful when using online gaming because it also carries risks. Many users think all the game players are like-minded. Not everybody. See, there was one time I was playing Call of Duty with a UK girl, and yes, in fact, it was a racist conversation. She was hashing on me because I was black. Because she was just lashing on me that I'm black and that I don't deserve to be born. It was some harsh words. Yeah. She used some harsh words with me because obviously she was like saying the black people are coming to the UK, they're just taking over the UK and stuff like that. So it was some really harsh words, like black monkey, stuff like that. It was some really harsh words, and we have to be careful because not everybody is just there to just have the fun of it or just to play the game and to connect, and therefore there are no real risks associated with this type of communication, but it is a dangerous assumption. Some of the no risks associated with online gaming that have been reported over the years include predators, people who prey on others, who they see as vulnerable. They will prey on you. They try to threaten you. Cyberbullying, the use of electronic communication to bully a person, insult them by sending message of intimidating or threatening nature. That's bullying. The use of webcams. The risks here are obvious. They can screenshot your picture, screenshot, video you, and use it for something else. I don't know. Voice masking technology to disguise the voice so you can not tell their sex, age, or even their accent. So they disguise. There's a voice masking that helps you to do that. So they disguise your voice. You have to be careful. It is often overlooked that online gaming are also a source of cyber attack on a user computer or mobile phones. Even browsing, phishing, or spyware are well reported examples of problems associated with online gaming. Yeah, people could actually send you virus to your system. Yeah, I'm sending you a file and you click on it, it could be a virus. Violence in the game itself, which can lead to violence behavior in reality. If you're playing games like Call of Duty, PlayerUnknown Background, Free Fire, Fortnite, please be careful. Because obviously, if your dad is in the military, you might be tempted to want to use those weapons and see how it goes. Yes, they have been reported in India. I think I read an article in India when too much of Call of Duty, the boy took out a pistol and I was trying it in reality. Obviously, it was loss of life. Okay, as when using other platforms, you should not reveal your personal information. Even when you're using online gaming, don't reveal your personal information about you or anyone else while you're gaming. You're there to have an experience, play, connect, but don't reveal your personal information. Please, it's very important. Okay, very, 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 very important. Okay, so we're going to stop here, and obviously hope you're able to learn a lot. Talking about sending and receiving emails, chatting with social medias, the online gaming, using the internet. These are various ways we could protect ourselves. Please, the internet, in fact, the ICT world is a very dangerous one. So please, as children, as teenagers, be careful during your adventure, especially in social medias and online gaming. Please be careful, okay, when you're using the internet as well. And of course, we talked about this is for the e-safety. We talked about personal details, which is your personal details and sensitive details as well. We also talked about data protection, okay, which is these acts are very, very important to people who have access to our data and what they need to do to ensure that our data are protected. So please, thank you for watching, and please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more in-depth teaching on IGCSE ICT, both the theoretical and the practical. And with this, have a nice day.